Hi my loves, here's your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. Now you're going to be really happy to know that after the intensity of that Libra new moon solar eclipse, we've got a really quiet start to the week. So please use the beginning of this week to just go gently, to go slowly, to go quietly, to perhaps take some time to just really integrate what the eclipse showed you. You might journal, you might meditate a little bit more, you might just spend quiet time on your own, processing and letting things land. So at the beginning of next week, please try not to just rush back out there in the world. This happens so often that the dark moon, the new moon will bring up all these things that we need to be aware of. We'll feel them while they're there. And then when we're not thinking about them anymore, we'll forget about them and just move back out there into like normal day-to-day life. But please don't do that. Please just take the start of this week to reflect inwards a little bit more. Because towards the end of the week, we've got a really powerful Mercury week. And this is going to start on Friday when we get what's called the Mercury Qasimi. Now, the word Qasimi is an Arabic word that means into the heart of the sun. And it's when a planet is kind of almost directly conjunct the sun and moves into the heart of the sun. Now, this happens a couple of times a year. Mercury and the sun are never normally, well, they're never more than a sign apart. They're only ever 28 degrees apart. So they're always in the same sign or one sign apart. So what will happen is Mercury will go retrograde and there'll be a Mercury Qasimi. Mercury will meet the sun. This is known as an inferior interior Qasimi, as Mercury moves between the sun and the earth. So when Mercury is in retrograde and meets the sun, this is the closest that Mercury ever gets to the earth. And Mercury here is seen as being in the underworld, so gathering information, going deep inside, going deep into shadows. Mercury will continue retrograde, and then as Mercury goes direct again, Mercury will meet the sun once more in a Qasimi, but this time in an exterior Qasimi. So direct Mercury goes farther away from the earth across the sun. So when Mercury's here up in the heights, Mercury's gathering information from the cosmos, gathering information from the universe, bringing information down from our higher selves and source and the planets and the stars and the skies and everything that's out there, that infinite expansive universe. And so as we get this Mercury Qasimi happen on Friday, this is going to be a beautiful time, especially if the eclipse has brought a lot of stuff for you and things perhaps still aren't making sense and you're like, but I don't know what to do about any of this and I don't know what's happening, to seek that help and guidance. On the Mercury Qasimi, our minds are expanded, our intuition is stronger, information and insight can come in that we might normally miss when we're running around in our human lives. So Friday is the day to ask for help from the universe. Mercury's up there in the universe. So to say, please help me with this. I don't know what to do with this. I need answers with this. Please show me. And then get quiet and still and listen and allow those answers to come in for you. On Saturday, we get both the sun and Mercury meeting Pluto. Now, you might remember we had a lot of Pluto energy around the solar eclipse. Pluto is the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. And so as the sun and Mercury now meet Pluto on Saturday, this is going to be where we now begin our process of transformation. The new moon solar eclipse showed us what needs to begin to die away. This is when we're going to start that process. So allowing things to die away, but bringing in what we want to be reborn, what we want to bring in more of. Now, this is very important because on Sunday, we get the first quarter moon. The first quarter moon is going to happen in Capricorn. The first quarter moon is the part of the lunar cycle where we're halfway between the new and the full moon, and everything starts to come together. Everything starts to come into alignment. It's like the universe is on our side. It's as though the growing light of the moon in the sky is beginning to show us the way. And so as Mercury and the sun meet Pluto around that first quarter moon, it's going to be a big ask of what are you now really leaving behind so that you can step into something new? What parts of you are you allowing to die away so that you can be reborn into who you came here to be? Now, the first quarter moon in Capricorn is all about laying long-term plans, putting the foundations in place for us to be able to get there. And so this isn't like a 60-minute makeover where we want to do everything in one go. It's where we look at, okay, this is what I need to be letting go of. And it might be especially to do with Mercury or this Mercury energy. It might be letting go of the little voice in your head that tells you that you're not good enough, or the little voice in your head that tells you you're never going to be able to achieve that, or the voice of your parents in your head telling you that you should be doing this or you should be doing that, or society's voices in your head giving you all of their opinions of what should happen. So it might be that you just begin to break up with some of the opinions and expectations that get put on you. That might be where you want to work. It might be something deeper that you're realizing you do need to let go of certain relationships or workplaces or situations or things you're allowing, or ways in which you're allowing yourself to be treated. And this is where you now put in the long-term plan of, okay, if I want to let go of the stifling job that I really don't like because I have a calling to do this, what do I need to be putting in place now so that that can one day happen, so that I can start to grow into that version of me that can hold that position when it arrives? So this meeting of Mercury, we've had the Mercury Cassimi, we've had all the insights, the information come in, then Mercury and the Sun are going to meet Pluto in this big kind of death rebirth portal. Okay, if you want to become that, what do you need to let go of in order to get there? And this first quarter moon is going to help us to really put the plans in place to be able to get there and become who we came here to be. Now, on that same day, we also have the Mercury meeting Saturn. So this is going to help us to really be able to put boundaries in place. Where do you need to speak up and set a boundary? Where do you need to be saying, this isn't okay with me anymore. I don't want to put up with this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Where do you need to begin to speak your truth to put the longer term plans in place to get to where you want to be? And as well as speaking the truth about what you no longer want, it might be that you start to speak up and ask for what you do want. You start to let people know you are looking for a new role, or you are going to start that little side hustle of the business that people keep asking you about, or you are going to begin to share your truth and the wisdom and the words that want to come through you. So this is going to be a beautiful day for laying foundations in your words to set boundaries and start to speak your truth. We also get on this day Venus meeting Jupiter, which is going to help us to really expand into our values, our self-worth, and really knowing our desires, knowing what we want. So Venus here is going to ask you, are you living by your values? On this first quarter moon, when we're starting to lay those foundations in place and we're looking at who you really want to be and what you really want to be doing, what values does that version of you really hold herself to? And are you currently living by those values? And what can you start to do to really put a lot of self-worth in place, knowing this is who I am, this is what I deserve, this is what I'm worthy of. And these are kind of the standards I'm going to start to hold myself to now as I put those plans in place for what it is that I want. Now on the same day, so this is all happening on Sunday, Mercury is going to move into Scorpio. As Mercury moves into Scorpio, we want that deep dive. This is going to bring an ability to really be able to tap into very deep intuition, very deep inner wisdom, very deep inner answers. You're not going to be able to hide as Mercury moves into Scorpio. So again, everything that came up with those eclipses, if you've been avoiding and pretending that you don't know what it is that you need to let go of and you don't know what it is that you need to speak up about, it's going to become really obvious when Mercury moves into Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio wants that deep dive. So with Mercury in Scorpio, we're not going to want the surface level conversations. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Mercury in Scorpio is going to have us going, no, how are you really? Tell me how you are really. And it's going to help us to hold those beautiful, vulnerable, intimate conversations with the people that we need to have them with to ensure that what needs to die away can die away, to create space for what needs to be reborn, and to create the longer term plans of what we're growing into. So everything this week, if we can take time at the start of this week to just go inwards, to integrate, to process, to land after the big energy of that solar eclipse, then we can open ourselves up on Friday to higher consciousness, divine wisdom, asking for the help and the guidance and letting the answers come in. Then over next weekend, there's the real chance then to start to look at, okay, what am I going to allow to die away so that I can begin to be reborn? And as the first quarter moon starts to build, who is that I want to become and what is it I want and what can I now put in place as a longer term plan to start to work towards? And then with that Venus, Mercury, and Mercury moving in Scorpio on Sunday, what values do I want to start to live by? How am I going to start to really know my worth and what I deserve? And what conversations do I need to be having that are intimate and vulnerable with the people I need to have them with, to ensure that there are endings, beginnings, and things are beginning to move in a new way. So a slightly quieter week, but still a very, very big week of potent energies to use. So go gently at the start of the week, let everything land, and then use the end of the week then to begin to put those very firm foundations in place, because we're starting then to build towards that Taurus full moon lunar eclipse that's going to bring the next part of the story in this whole eclipse portal and this lunar cycle. So as always, my darlings, I really hope this has helped. Thank you all so much for your comments and your shares. They really make a big difference in helping me to get my message out there into the world a little bit more. So I always appreciate when you share and you comment, and I'm just always glad that these help in some ways. Let's navigate this week together. Let's start it gently and slowly, and let's end it by really making that commitment of what we're letting go of and no longer allowing, so that we can really begin to become who we came here to be and make the plan towards what it is that we want. I'm sending you so much love. I will see you all very soon.